Welcome to Coffee with Gaz with one of the originals, one of the OGs.
OG Jagger.
OG Jagger, Karl Bartels. By the way, if I got too much swag right now with a handkerchief going on, let me know and I'll take it off.
Might be a little too much for the camera.
It might be. Well, just let me know. Cut, edit. But I gotta step it up, dude. You're the key. You're the man with all the details too.
Man, I try.
You do all the little things. The sock game. Usually you have the flower with the lapel.
You know, and also my pin game is pretty strong to quite strong. I get a lot of compliments on pins, and it's a great icebreaker, honestly.
Oh, that goes back. Little things matter.
Yeah.
You're definitely a gentleman that pays attention to details. So again, then we started. Apparently, we have the same good side. So the left side.
Yeah, this is.
So now I had to kind of regroup. You threw me off a little bit.
Right.
So righty, lefty.
Apologize.
Dude, question I always ask everybody. I see you every morning, and that is the largest cup of coffee in this office. How do you drink your coffee?
Yeah, I drink it black. That's it. No sugar, no cream, just black coffee. Usually triple espresso every morning. In my amazing Nespresso machine.
I see you post that on your story.
Yeah, every Tuesday especially, because that's the one morning where I wake up very early.
5-ish?
Yeah.
5 in the morning?
So, but it's funny because I kind of trick people because people are like, man, you get up early every day, huh? And it's like, yeah, it's pretty much
early bird gets the worm.
Yeah, but
I'm noticing kind of a theme about the coffee, just like black. I think that's like no sugar. I think that's a maturity thing because I'm doing that too. I think at some point you just pick your battle, right? Like, dude, I'm not gonna put the bad stuff in that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not living clean by any means. I'm working towards it, but yeah, I'd rather consume calories other ways.
I'm telling you, pick your battles. We're getting older, man, so we got to be wiser when we do that.
For sure. What I will do is on the weekends, I'll have, maybe on a Saturday morning, I'll do a little creamer in my coffee, but for the most part, just black coffee.
Dude, that's Batman.
Yeah.
You got a little Bruce Wayne in you. Black coffee, largest coffee cup. I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
For sure.
Dude, one thing I wanted to talk to you about, by the way, thanks for supporting me doing this. Appreciate it. Got to get you out there. You got a pretty cool story. You're being an OG. We've known each other for 11 years now. Original gangster.
Yeah.
You did something that I wanted to talk about is you've been in the insurance, but for a long time, you were part-time.
Right.
We would see each other literally from 9 to 11 or 9 to 12.
Right.
Like you were hustling, a lot of credit to that. But you had a full-time job selling insurance, and for a long time, I think it was comfortable. And then you got to a point where you made that jump. I was talking to Marco earlier. I think he says he remembers the day you made the jump. The day you said, you know what, I'm all in, commission only, full-time agent. Well, you always been an agent, but full-time producer. You remember that day? You remember what it felt like?
What I remember is it took a long time. Like you said, I was doing. I mean, I say part time, but at the same time, I was almost doing full time insurance and still full time in the evenings at my other job, because I would come in at like 9 or 10 in the morning.
You're right. It was more from a time perspective,
right?
Because you were hustling 18 hours a day.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I would stay in the office most days until like 4 p.m., then hit the Palmetto and rush over to my other job to make it by 5 p.m. And I would work there until, 11 p.m., sometimes midnight, depending on the workload. But that I look back and I still can't believe that I did it and that I did it for so long, because it was definitely exhausting.
Taxing.
Yeah,
it was taxing,
for sure.
just on everything.
And I realized, it was really Doug. Doug really pushed me, and I'm sure I really frustrated him because he wanted me to make the jump sooner. But he really put it into perspective, especially after a while. He's like, you're already making more doing this than you are your other job, and it's only going to grow exponentially if you're putting all your efforts and energy into this. So, it was clear, but it was still a hard leap to make, because
you're playing it safe, right? I mean, it was a
comfort
zone. It was a comfort zone.
It was
a crutch of having that steady paycheck.
It was steady paycheck and benefits versus jumping into something commission only. It was absolutely a crutch.
Looking back, you think you wish you would have done it sooner?
For sure. without a doubt. I wish I would have jumped in sooner. I don't have like a lot of regrets over that. I don't sit up late at night and think, what if? Because, we're not professional athletes. At the same time, I have a lot of years to grow my book of business.
We're playing the long game.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
retiring at 28.
So I'll continue to build my book of business, but I definitely wish that I would have jumped in sooner. Like, we were all working together at the same time, and you, Doug, Fernie, you were all in. You guys were all in, without a part-time or a backup plan. And I definitely wish I would have jumped in sooner.
I mean, fear, comfort, looking back, I'm glad I did it. I just feel like I had no choice. I think sometimes when you have choices, it's when you almost overthink it.
Right.
Like us as people, we're like individuals, like you're competitive, we're all competitive. Like if we didn't have a choice, you'd do it tomorrow.
Right.
But when you have too many choices, you overthink it.
Yeah.
Like we're in our mind. I think we're our own worst enemy when it comes to that. I mean, advice. So anybody looking to get into insurance, you tell them if you're going to do it, kind of go all in day one, right? Like jump in the deep end.
For sure, jump all in. But I would even say I like what some of the other people have done here, where they come in on like the tech or AE side and they learn a lot about the business before they jump in full time as a producer, because I think that's also important to have that background and experience.
I agree with you. I like that model specifically. John Michael,
Right.
Dante, that they've taken, which takes a long term approach too, because it is somewhat humbling, right?
Right.
Like you're gonna, to start from the bottom and really learn the business, you got to check in.
But you learn the ropes. You know every single aspect of the game at that point, and that's something that I really didn't have the option to do back, with the old crew. It was really just all in producer or that's it.
Yeah, sink or swim.
Yeah. So yeah, but I do think that that's a good model to follow for sure.
Right. Well, yeah, we learned the hard way. That's
Right.
the new model.
Right, that's the new model.
We talk about the old model like us, but that's the new model. And I agree with you. It gives you a base. It kind of gives you the ability
foundation.
a foundation and be self-sufficient when you get on the road. Because us dealing with people all day and being in sales, that's one thing. But then being able to think on the fly and not rely, even though we have a great staff.
Right.
But what if it's after hours,
Right.
on the weekend, right? You're able to kind of on your phone do a quick app, get a quick quote. Like you become unstoppable.
Right. There's stuff that I know I can't do without their help, that I know people that have done that role, they can do it all then at that point. So yeah, it is a better fit that way.
Dude, I mean, it's biggest challenge in insurance salesperson. What would you think is your biggest obstacle, or what do you think? What do you find you specifically the most difficult about being a commission only producer in the insurance game?
Man, I'm gonna sound like Pat Riley right now and say there are obstacles, but there are none. So it's just the mindset. Like every day you have to wake up and say, sure, this deadline's coming up, this renewal is coming up, I got to do this in new business. And sometimes it could seem overwhelming, but at the same time, you kind of embrace those challenges and do your best with them. Like just go and prioritize and organize yourself and really just try to make the best out of every situation and let the cards fall where they may. You're not going to win every deal. You're not going to, you might lose some accounts along the way. But really, if you're putting in the work and you're doing your best, then it'll work out overall.
You mentioned something that I feel I've learned through trial and error. Like, I mean, whatever. If anyone's going to tell you what to do, I'm not big on that. I think it's more impactful to tell somebody what not to do because you've experienced it yourself.
Right.
So I'm more attuned to that. But looking back, and you mentioned something about sales being organized. Most people kind of wing it. Like I wish, and I'm more organized now, but I wish that was that one trait I had before. Like us being in sales, we have to be even more organized than anybody else.
Right. It's something that I've struggled with. I'm a very neat and tidy person, especially in my, at home. I always have been. But as far as, work comes, and I'm not the most organized.
Do you
And it's
have like the
something that I'm
bathroom organized? Do
Really,
you make your bed every morning, like the military?
Every
Do I
morning.
What does it drop a quarter on it? Does it bounce?
Maybe not that extreme, but like everything has its place. Everything has to, be tight.
I can picture that. You got it's like a little OCD coming out of you.
It is. Yeah. No, I'm definitely OCD. If somebody's growing up, I could tell if somebody had gone in my room or moved something like a quarter of an inch. Everything has its place. I'm not the cleanest person in the world, but everything has its place.
You must have hated living with Doug then, because I can picture
It
Doug
was the
being
worst.
messy.
No, it was the worst. So that we were polar opposites. He
I mean,
far one of the messier people I've ever lived with, and we lived together for a long time. Actually, we were roommates on and off for at least like 7 or 8 years, I want to say. And he would come home and just kind of like, discard clothing or shoes, like just leave them there in the living room in the common
would it
area.
bother you so much that you would pick it up?
Oh yeah, no.
See,
but no, but I wouldn't pick it up and like
enabling him.
No, absolutely not. I would ball all this crap up, open the door to his room, and just throw it in there. Which, I mean, not that he could tell because the room was already a mess anyway. Right. But then I would just close the door, and that's his problem. But at least the common areas need to be tidy.
So the personal life, OCD, super organized, and then now learning on the sales side. And I wonder, I'm the same way. But it almost seems like because things change, the exciting part about being in sales and doing what we do is that literally in the next 20 minutes, someone might call, things might change, which we fall into that trap.
Right.
Like we're always pivoting.
Right.
And it sounds like a good thing, but not having that structure of going back to like your base, that's, I think, the most important thing that we got to still get better at.
Yeah.
And I know I'm working on it continuously.
My issue that I come across mostly, my downfall is I get so caught up in the day-to-day putting out fires that I haven't been concentrating enough on like actively prospecting,
thinking big. Yeah.
And that's something I'm trying to get around, and it's been difficult. It really has.
And it's going to get worse the more,
right.
Knock on wood. I'm not going to knock because I'm not even sure this is wood, but
Formica.
Lou, is it wood?
Wood particles.
Yeah. So there's some wood components in it.
Yeah.
But we're growing, so I'm not going to complain about that.
Right.
So it's going to get harder and harder as we grow, how to kind of keep ourselves organized, even following up, pending things. It's a challenge. I'm with you, man. We all feel it. It's cool that because we know each other so long, we're all like-minded, that we literally, this is almost like a support group because we have the same challenges on a daily basis.
Right. Yeah.
I'm actually, and I've known you longer, I think you're also a little bit misunderstood. Specifically, like everyone assumes you're the shyest guy in the world.
Yeah,
and you're not.
I can't. Here's the problem. I can be standoffish, especially if I just meet people, and that's not great in a sales role for sure.
It's a unique approach.
Yeah. So, which is why I rely on my pins and other things to break the ice. But yeah, especially in the office, I come in and I have my blinders on and I'm focused on what I'm doing, and some people can kind of misconstrue that and say, oh yeah, he's very serious, or he's shy and he doesn't talk. But yeah, just get a couple vodka sodas in me, and that'll change real quick.
Vodka sodas, a little hip hop,
yeah,
or
for sure. Bring up Miami Heat, and I won't shut up for 2 hours.
The trade machine on the Y2K.
I went. I'm a part of like a networking group, a couple actually, but one of them we meet one Friday out of the month, and we met for lunch before the meeting. This is last Friday, and I get there, and we're all sitting there having lunch, and I don't know if somebody brought up the Heat or the trade for Iguodala or something, and I just went off. Like I was talking for like 20 minutes, and one of the guys is like, "Oh, so you work for the Heat, right? Like, do you work for the Heat?" I'm like,
"I'm an advocate.
No, well,
I'm an advocate.
I should. Like, they should put me on payroll, but it's just one of my passions."
Yeah, and when you, I think people assume being a salesperson, you have to be kind of like the loudest, or you have such a big personality.
Right.
I think that's a bad misconception.
Yeah, there's different personality traits and different, strengths and weaknesses, but I don't think that's always effective either. I think in sales you can have different personalities and still be effective.
I mean, as long as 100%, you're authentic because you're you. Like I've known you, you've been the same,
right?
Always. not being just the loudest person, or you don't have to have like this type A personality. I think, being able to deal with rejection is the biggest trait for a salesperson. And then finding kind of your way, trying to be somebody else is going to be a recipe for disaster.
Right.
Like doing you, being your thing. I bring that up because it's funny, because I've known you longer. And it's funny, from a first impression, sometimes everyone's like, "Man, Karl's so quiet." I'm like, "No, he's not."
Right.
No, he's not. He's the opposite. Wait till you get him going.
Yeah. 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 It just takes a little longer for me to break out of my shell sometimes.
Let's talk about your Insta handle. I want to bring it up. Karl Gables.
Yeah.
One of the most creative, innovative. I love it, dude. You have your own little.
It's pretty good. In fact, I have just north of 1,000 followers. I should be at like 20 by now
just because of the name.
It's just because of the name. Like, I think the name is good enough.
Well, number one, again, we're doing this stuff and we talk about pushing ourselves on social media. We get so busy doing work that we have to carve out time to do this stuff.
Right.
Because, dude, I think you have a cool story. I think you're funny. Not as funny as me, but you're funny. Yeah. Sorry, dude. I gotta stick my crown or stick my place on the throne. But you're up there, and forcing yourself to do it is pretty cool. You moved to Coral Gables, hence our office is in Coral Gables. So you'd put Karl Gables.
Right.
It was like, dude,
yeah. Karl with a K, of course.
How stressed? How stressed were you? Well, you moved from Coral Gables, but
right.
The caveat is,
the office is still in the Gables.
So we can never
That's
move.
the thing. I can still claim Karl Gables. I live in Brickell, but, and that might change too. Like, I might move back to the Gables soon, or I might move to Miami Lakes. I might move to Aventura. Who knows?
Talk to Stephanie. Talk to Stephanie. Got to come.
Right. But the office is still located in Coral Gables, so I could still claim Karl Gables.
And I will do everything in my power for us not to move.
Yeah.
Just so you don't change your handle, because that is.
Yeah. No.
It is.
Seriously,
it's going to be worth something.
I was a little nervous. There was talk before we moved into this office space. There was talk a while back about relocating somewhere else, and I'm glad that didn't happen, because then I would be a fraud, and
it would be disappointing. It would be disappointing. Yeah. Doug's trying to jump in the background. Little does he know that we were just bashing how messy it is.
Doug and I have a knack for wearing the same outfits all the time. I don't know.
Is that from being roomies for so long?
I don't know. Well, he used to just steal my clothes, but now we just seem to show up wearing the same stuff.
FaceTime each other in the morning?
He used to. Oh no, we hardly even talk. But he used to act like it was a two-way street with the clothes sharing. And he'd be like, "Oh no," because he would always borrow my clothes, but he never had anything good to borrow, so I never borrowed his clothes. It only worked one way.
Yeah, I can see you. Your game, your style is up there. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Don't.
And I know we
don't
definitely can't share sneakers, because he wears like an 8.
I think it's a size 13. I lent him my shoes once. We'll edit that. I do want to just say how much I appreciate like you and everything you do and who you are. Like, it's cool that I can't believe we've known each other for 11 years.
Yeah,
like literally known each other 11 years. And I'm glad you jumped in. And I just want, like, my goal would be for everybody to get to know like Karl Gables, like Karl. Because I think you're a trip, man. And it's funny. This is like one avenue we get to do to kind of put yourself out there. Like, I always say, like, you're one of the reasons why we are where we are and what this place is. Like, from a culture standpoint, call it swag, because I brought it up earlier, so I'm gonna use that word. But like, you're everything that this place is about, and it's cool that like we still get to work together with friends. I guess can continue to see you grow. Like, you're growing, we're growing. And it's exciting, man. I'm excited for your future. I am gonna get a bigger cup next time you're on here, because you're showing me up, dude. That cannot happen.
I had to do it. I drink a lot of coffee, so I need to facilitate that.
All right, we got a question for you. When is it, and I believe we're on the same page on this, when is it too late to drink coffee?
Never.
Or too early to drink wine? What's that? Give me a time.
I was gonna say never for both, but that's not the truth. But no, I can drink espresso, Cuban coffee, whatever you want to say, at 1 a.m. and go right to sleep. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, at this point, the coffee doesn't have like a huge effect on the actual energy aspect of it. I just love it. I just like how it tastes, and it does get you going a little bit. But it's just like a warm hug on the inside. So
Makes you feel good inside.
It makes you feel good inside. So I have no problem. I'll be out to dinner and order an espresso after dinner, and people will be like, "Oh, I can't drink that right now. I wouldn't be able to go to sleep."
It's go time.
You're an amateur because I can fall asleep right away.
I had this,
But with the wine, to finish your question, the wine, I think anything before noon for wine is a little too early. Like, and after, during lunch, a little Euro lunch is probably the best fit. Like,
so 2:30?
Yeah.
2:30?
Around
3-ish?
2.
What time, what central time are we going? You're right. I agree with you. Can't disagree with you.
If it's...
Dude, I talk about coffee wine, right? Literally having this thing with the rosacea. Dermatologist tells me, don't do coffee, don't do wine. I'm like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Don't live.
What do you want me to do? That's not an option.
It's not an option.
And I'm trying the tea thing. It just is not. That's not.
It's not the same.
No. So you know what? Give me some filters. Give me some hair and makeup. But I'm gonna keep going, man. The only thing stopping me is rosacea. That's it. I'm going off the cuff here. Carl, appreciate you, man. Thanks, dude.